forward because that's just how it goes. But don't worry, everybody, you're going to have lots of time to ask Darynda your questions tonight. Like Sarah said, we have polls going that we're going to be reading throughout the evening. I've got some fun, just interesting get to know you questions for Darynda. And then also we're going to have questions for time for you guys to ask your questions. So first, Darynda, I want to dig into the new series. Or I'm sorry, I want to dig into a little bit about Darynda, just so we can have a little bit of fun, just get started, get right off our feet. Okay. What would you order? What would you order if you were at the Del Sol coffee shop right now?
You know, I've given up sugar, but if I was at the Del Sol coffee shop, it would probably be a mocha latte, my favorite.
I love it.
Sugar and
any other different type of milk or just regular milk?
I use regular milk or even half and half. I do more low carb now, so boring.
It's a great order though. I love it. It's, it's traditional or not traditional. It's a classic. It's always delicious.
Exactly. Like me. I'm getting up there. I can be called a classic now. I'm 50 decades under my belt.
I love it. All right. So what actors would you cast as Sunshine and Levi?
You know, when I first pitched Sunshine, and I went into, I had pitched it, they bought it, but I went into a marketing meeting and everybody I just happened to be in New York for something, I don't remember what. And so it was like my whole marketing team, there were like tons of people in there and I was like all nervous and they're like, who would you pick to play Sunshine? And I said, in my mind, when I first came up with her, she was either Reese Witherspoon or Kristen Bell. So I kind of think of meshing those two together.
I love that.
Thank you.
And then what about Levi?
Oh, Levi. Oh, that's so hard. So I based Levi on this model from, I think he's from Ireland. He has like a really odd name, like Gwileth or something. It's such a crazy name, but that is who I based Levi on. And he has his own, like he has Instagram, he's a model. And what happened with him, his story just fascinated me because he was, a little overweight and really nerdy looking. Nerds are good, don't get me wrong.
I love a nerd, gotta love them.
But he had gone to his barber and his barber told him, said, you should grow a beard. You would look really good with a beard. So he did. He grew a beard. He has red hair. He grew a beard. He lost weight. And I mean, he just became this supermodel. Like, who does that?
Oh my gosh. So lucky. Genetics.
Yeah. As far as actors, oh my gosh, I don't know. You guys will have to help me. Put in the chat who you think. I don't even know.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys put your picks in the chat. We would love to read them and maybe see if we can send it that way towards the optioning gods. And
so and it has been optioned. So yes, just if they would just make it, Harley was optioned like 2.5 times. It was a weird situation, and it never got made. And now, Sunshine has been optioned. So maybe someday.
It's so cinematic though. Like just this show, it would be such a cinematic show, I feel.
Thank you.
All right. So what secondary character of yours would you want to hang out with?
Out of the Sunshine series?
Sure.
Probably, well, I will say that Quincy is based on my brother Quentin. For those of you, he's like almost 100% Quentin. I've never based a character so much on a person that I know. Like his personality, he's so Quentin. And so then I don't want to give anything away, but there was a scene in Chardonnay that was very awkward for me to write because I do think of him as my brother. But I love it. My sister and I both, Annette, we love hanging out with Quentin. So he probably Quentin. Quincy and Chardonnay.
I love it. That's great. All right. If you were making your own t-shirt, what would your catchphrase be?
This is kind of boring and old school, but I've had this on my mind for a long time. Go big or go home. When I first started writing, I wrote historical romance, was my first manuscript. It's under the bed. It'll be there forever, probably. And, but I got to the sex scene part, and I had to ask myself, do I want my mother reading this? Do I want, friends reading this and all this stuff? And then I thought, if they don't read sex, they don't have to read it. It's not a choice, but I felt like it's go big or go home, lay it all out there. So I did, and I have ever since. It's worked well for me.
I love that. And having just like the sort of moment with yourself to be like, I'm sorry about the siren in the background. Excuse it. Apparently there's an emergency. But just having that feeling of freedom to be able to not let the fear of other people reading it that you care about, because you're like, I just want to get these words out there. And if they aren't comfortable with it, they can skip those pages. Doesn't even matter.
Right. Absolutely. Just skip them. I will not be offended. I understand, fine with me.
So how many different languages have your books been translated into?
The Charlie books just sold like crazy. And I want to say 17 languages. And like when Russia, Slovakia, Romania, when all those places sold, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Right.
There's so many, but I think it's right at 17. Yeah. Now Sunshine, I have a different foreign rights agent, and I don't know. She just didn't think that they would want to be interested in a small New Mexico town. I don't know why, because Charlie is set in New Mexico. So Sunshine, we've only sold to the UK, and that's pretty much it. It hasn't been translated yet, although there have been some interest in, we just got a lady from Japan who wanted to talk to my foreign rights agent. So that would be cool, because I don't think I'm in Japan. I'm not sure.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Do you have like a dream translation that you would want?
Maybe Farsi. I don't know.
I like that you're like, I'm again, go big or go home, the Darynda Jones story.
Afrikaans, I think that Afrikaans is the most beautiful language in the world. It is so stunningly beautiful. It's almost like a little bit French and a little bit of German. I don't know. It's just like this a mix of stuff. So maybe Afrikaans, that would be cool.
Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, for sure. And it would be super cool too if you got Japanese, because that could also open the door for a graphic novel or a manga.
Absolutely. That's a big dream. Yes, that's a big dream. And I've had some interest in graphic novels. This one company, wrote me, and I just thought that'd be so cool. And I don't know whatever happened. Nothing ever happened with it. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I sometimes these things just like fall through the cracks, and I never know. So
exactly. It's like you just put them out there. Occasionally they might come back to you.
Yes. And I will say, this is crazy that I didn't even know this. So we sold Betwixt to an online game company.
Oh.
Called Moments. And apparently it's out. I did not know this, but apparently it's been out for a while, because I just got a royalty check.
Oh, nice.
Like, why did nobody even told me? I just assumed they would let me know. No, it's out there. If anybody does Moments, I've never done it, but
I was gonna say, have you downloaded it yet to try it out?
Not now. Of course I have to, because I literally just found out yesterday. So
did you get to have any involvement with like picking the character profiles?
No, I did not. The only involvement I had was at first I had final script approval. And I am not kidding, guys. It's so weird, because I guess maybe I don't know, but like the things that they would come up with. So you're going along, and you can either take this road or this road. But if you take the road that does not follow the book, it's just like one or two steps and you're right back to the book. So it's really weird. But their offshoots are the weirdest things ever. Like, they don't even make sense to me. Like, one was about a monkey's butt I
Oh
was
my
like,
goodness.
there's no monkeys in this.
Yes, but-
What are you talking about? It was just so bizarre that I kind of just like, you know what? I don't need the script approved. You guys just, you know what you're doing. I trust you. You put it out.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's just like just like lazy storytelling on that one.
It's just so weird. And I don't understand why. Like, how would you even come up with that as an option? It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it makes no sense at all.
Whatever. I'm good.
Weird. Yeah, just a random red herring, just silly.
Yeah.
So when we were doing our intros with our readers, Lorelei King's name came up quite a few times as a beloved narrator of yours. I just want you to kind of talk a little bit about what you enjoy about her voice and what she brings to your writing.
She's just so amazing. I remember when they told me that I didn't even know when I first sold First Grave on the Right. I didn't realize that, a deal like that, you're going to get an audiobook deal.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. So they write me one day and they're like, well, we're thinking about getting Lorelei King. What do you think? And I was just like, I almost fell out of my chair. I was so excited.
That's so cool.
She does Mercy Thompson. She does Stephanie Plum. There's just and I'm like, yes, please,
Mhm.
So she wrote me one day, and of course I fangirled all over the place. And she was just asking me how to say Reyes, how I say Reyes, and little things like that. And but just working with her has been so amazing. And then I listened to it, and what's crazy is that we all, when we read something, we put our own interpretation to it.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously. And she kind of interpreted a few things a little differently than I did. And it was just fascinating to me. I was like, I wouldn't even have thought of that. It's just the inflection and the way she did it. And then her voices. And to me, I love that she has that gorgeous husky voice. I just think
Yeah.
it is just so sexy. And when she does Reyes or when she does Levi she's just amazing. She's just amazing. And I'm so thrilled. And then she also did my young adult series, and she sounded like a teen.
Oh,
I
that's
was
so cool.
floored. I was like, how did you do? And we just did an Instagram live the other day. And I asked her, I'm like, how in the world do you sound like a teen when you need to sound? And she said that it was work. She had to tighten her throat and really make it real calm. Yeah, it's very interesting. Her
That
job
is so interesting.
but she's just amazing. And what's hilarious too is that she actually gained me so many readers because people buy audiobooks just with her name on it. They don't care.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I'm like, well, thanks, Lorelei. Appreciate it.
It's like having a little rock star power in addition.
It was very cool. And
That's
she's
so neat.
She's the nicest person. I got to meet her in New York at the Audio Awards a few years ago, and just the nicest person. Really sweet.
Was there a scene that you heard her read that gave you chills?
Pretty much anytime she reads Reyes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my God, how am I so in love with this woman's voice?
Yeah.
But I will say, and she actually, in one of the Charlie books, I have a description of hell. So it's my description of hell, I came up with it. And I made it up. I've never been. Who knows?
Thank goodness.
What the future holds.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed I won't ever get it. But she wrote me, and she said, I just had to write you and tell you that your hell was just amazing. She loved it. And so I had to go listen to that, like specifically. I had to hunt down that part. I was like, okay, I got to hear this once it came out. And she just did an amazing job. It was, oh, I just love her.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so magical. I love that so much. All right, Darynda, so what is your favorite trope to read?
Oh, you know what? People ask me this all the time, and I love them all. I love enemies to lovers and friends to lovers. I even like secret babies. I don't care. I love them all. I can't even, I'm trying to think if there's one I don't like. That would be easier, but I really don't.
And that's even hard.
I know, I love second chance. I feel like the Sunshine books are a second chance romance. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite trope to write?
To write. I think that I do, because I always end up having where my hero and heroine have met at some prior point in their lives,
Mhm.
like so often in things that I write. And so probably second chance would be, yeah, in a way, even though they weren't always dating in earlier, but they meet again, and what, I was very influenced
Mhm.
by a book, and it was, oh, who wrote that? There are 2 or 3 books called this, but I think it was called Seeing Red, and I want to say it wasn't Jane Porter. I get Jane Porter and this, they look alike. What is her name? I can't think of her name.
I know, and I see the book cover. I know exactly what
Yeah,
you mean too, and I'm
it was such
yeah.
a cool book cover. But that really influenced that whole second chance, because they were in high school and then they went apart and then they meet again, and dang, that was hot. That was just like the hottest
Mhm.
scene ever. And I was like, oh my gosh. I even told her, I felt really bad because I told her that I loved that book so much and influenced me a lot. And I said, I just recommend it all the time. And she said, oh, she said, well, so have you read anything since? Because this is pretty old book. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But I mean, I'm just saying that would have influenced me. It was an early influencer. It's really cute.
That's so funny. She's like, yeah, but what about my new stuff?
Right,
Oh, right.
exactly.
Sorry.
Like, yeah, whatever. What have you read? What have you done for me lately?
Right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right. So is there one genre of fiction that you would never want to read again?
Oh gosh, I think I read a little of everything. I
Mhm.
am not, as long as it's fiction. I have a hard time with some nonfiction memoirs, especially if there's abuse of any kind.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Probably anytime, okay, I'll say this, it's not a genre, but anytime there's a woman or a child being held against their will, I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Just
for
don't want to
sure.
read that.
You're
And
like instant close.
right, exactly. And that's why I didn't read Room. Remember Room?
Mhm.
Everybody was talking about Room, and I finally watched the movie, and it took me forever to watch the movie. And I mean, it had a happy ending for the most part,
Mhm.
but yeah, I just have a hard time with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah.
I don't like it either. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is one new hobby or practice that you've picked up recently?
I picked up recently. Oh, I'm honestly the most boring person. All I do, I don't think I've learned anything recently. I have learned nothing. Nothing.
Awesome. You're like, I've sat with myself and learned to be okay with that.
Seeing Red by Sandra Brown. That's not it either. There's another one.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out, guys. The sleuthing room is gonna get this together.
And I've read that one too, and it's amazing because I am a huge Sandra Brown fan. That woman can write. She's Envy is one of my favorite movies, favorite books. I wish it was made into a movie ever.
Mhm.
Jill Shelvis. That's it. Yes, Jill
Jill-
Shelvis. Yes.
Perfect. They do look alike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get him
Now
confused.
wow, now I'm always gonna see it. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. I'm sorry. Question. Oh, what have I learned? You know what? I've been studying nutrition,
Mhm.
like crazy, and yeah, I have completely changed how I eat and how I do everything. I have even the girls here know that I always have a Diet Coke. I have given up Diet Coke. It was the hardest thing I've ever done
Oh
ever.
my goodness.
It's harder than giving birth. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, it's hard to give up something delicious.
It's hard. I struggled with that, but I finally, 3 weeks on the wagon.
That's good. Congratulations. We should all cheer for Darynda on that one. That's hard.
It is.
Nutrition is a good thing to pick up though. It's fun to track it.
I've just been reading books and yeah, and now I know exactly what we're supposed to eat and what we're not supposed to eat. So I'm good. I'm good. I should live forever at this point.
I know, right? Exactly. You're like, and now I'm armed with knowledge. I'm invincible and immortal.
Exactly.
Who was your first book boyfriend or girlfriend?
Oh, goodness. That was so long ago. I'm going to have to say, for real, like major crush was probably from the first romance I ever read, which was A Rose in Winter by Kathleen E. Woodwis.
Mhm.
And I was sitting in the dentist's office. Again, this is going to date me, but I
Mhm.
was sitting in the dentist's office and they had the condensed version of A Rose in Winter in Women's Day or Women's World, some magazine.
Mhm.
And I sat there and read the whole thing. And oh my gosh, I stole the magazine. I did. Just freaked out over that story. I had never read romance. And I ran home and I told my mom, I'm like, oh my God, Mom, this book is so good. I have to read the whole book. And she's like, duh, it's Kathleen E. Woodwis. And she has them, you know? So I just went to town.
She swings open the door to her magic library. She's like, come with me, sweet child.
Yes, exactly. And I was a little surprised because, you know, if you've ever read Kathleen E. Woodwis, I was like, are you sure this is okay for me to read?
Mom, I have a lot of questions about what you're allowing me to read.
It was all good.
That's so funny. I love it. All right. I know that the answer would have normally been Diet Coke, but now, what is your current favorite writing fuel?
Oh, you know, this is going to make me, again, I just am the most boring. It's sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
I drink water and sparkling water. I even gave up coffee. I've given
Oh
up.
my goodness. Why?
I gave up. It was like losing my will to live for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I was a little on the edge there for a while. Just because coffee has, you know, it's okay. Here's the weirdest thing. And I actually got into an argument with Lorelei King about this on a recording we did for third grade. We were in New York doing a recording and we got into an argument. But what happens is when I have no caffeine, I'm actually less tired.
Mm-hmm.
So caffeine, it gives me that high, but then I just drop right down immediately and then I'm sleepy. When I have no caffeine, I just have this very even keel, you know what I mean? I can go all day and I'm not sleepy. And so I just do better. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on deadlines. I've got 2 deadlines and I'm very behind. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I just have to do this.
Absolutely. You're like, I have to keep my brain as healthy as possible. And it's the best thing to do. I love it.
Yeah.
The more water, the better, because that just means more hydration.
Yes, exactly. Else. Deadlines for Annette. A Hard Day for a Hangover, which is the 3rd. That was due now. It is not done. And the second one is for the 4th in the Betwixt and the Between series, which is Annette's story. So there you go.
I love it. Love it so much. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Where were we? How do you celebrate a new release, Darynda?
You know, I used to, when I first sold, I would just go crazy and like I just like take the day off and I would do whatever. I don't even know what I did. Like crazy, probably eat cake or something.
Mhm.
I'm just so busy that like the release day, it's just work all day. You don't get a break. It's promotion and it's answering questions and putting this out and doing that. And you guys know all about promotions because I'm constantly, oh, hey, can you put this up tomorrow? Sorry.
And we're like, absolutely, girl, we got you.
Oh my God, you guys are so amazing. You don't know how many times I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna leave them.
I did not pay her to say this, everybody.
I gotta buy you guys an island or something.
We just want more books, Darynda. That's what we're here for.
Thank you.
I love it so much. All right. Well, what advice would you give to your younger self?
You know, I started writing so young. I was literally making up stories at 5 years old. And I think that, you know, now I didn't even sell until I was like, how old was I? 44-ish or something. And I just feel like I have so many books in my head. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to write them all unless I do live forever, which is what I'm trying to do. But I'm never going to be able to write them all. Why didn't I start younger? Why didn't I do this? I wrote stories. I started a book in high school, which I never finished, but it was so fun. Probably one of the best times in my life. My best friend and I would go to Tasty Freeze every day after school and write for hours. And they hated us because we'd have paper everywhere. We'd take up a corner booth and we'd have like one drink between us because we were poor, you know.
Like, we're just sharing it, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Refill the water.
They hated us, but that's okay. It was just so fun. But yeah, I think I just would have, but you know, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, I can't be a writer. There's no way I can really be a writer. There's just no way. Writers are either geniuses or alcoholics, and I'm neither. And I know that sounds funny, but I honest to God believe that if you were a writer, you had to be a genius or an alcoholic, and I wasn't either. And so I would tell myself, just have the confidence and just do it. Just write. Just write. Yeah. For
sure.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's like such a great lesson that the artist way really teaches, is like letting those sort of monkeys kind of get out of your head so that you don't have to have blockers keeping you from your success.
I love that book. It's so good. Yeah.
Me too. It's awesome. Who is your dream writer collab? Like, if you could write with any author, who would you want to write with?
Oh my gosh. There's so
and however that looks for you.
You know, and this is going to sound so ridiculous, but it's not, maybe not for the reasons that you think, but I would love to just sit down and write with Stephen King. His brain amazes me. It just amazes me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be cool. That would be one of them. I have many. J.R. Ward, Lee Child. Lee Child has been so good to me. And he gave me a blurb for A Day for Sunshine. And he's just a neat guy. So maybe Lee Child too.
He can come along. That's okay.
Yeah, he can come. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what songs are on Sunshine's playlist?
Oh gosh. Of course, Walking on Sunshine, because you know, I don't know. I want to say that we did a playlist.
Oh, cool.
I remember any of them. No. I will put that somewhere, and you guys, I will ask Dana, my assistant, where that is.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is that like a thing that you enjoy doing, sort of when you're building characters?
I don't do that like other people do. They'll build whole playlists. What happens to me is I'll be driving along and a song will come up that will like match exactly what I'm writing. So I will listen to that like 1,000 times over and over. I'll immediately buy it. While I'm in the shower, I just repeat that song over and over. It keeps those juices flowing, that creativity, you know, because so that's what I do.
Does each book have a different song for you, or is it just kind of come and go?
It just kind of comes and goes. Yeah. Yeah. There was one in Sunshine, and it's called It Feels Like I'm Drowning. It's if you put that in, it feels like I'm drowning. I swear I've listened to that song 10,000 times.
I love it.
It just is so emotional. It's just it's like the sexiest song. Oh, it's so sexy.
Just gets like the whole mood.
Yes, I think of Levi, Reyes, whatever. One of my heroes, whoever's in there. Well, I don't know which one it is.
It's like whatever gets him in the mood. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, that's so cool. All right, sorry, I closed my window. I was like so excited about that. Who was your favorite secondary character that you've written? And it can be across your series.
My favorite, you know, I'm gonna have to go. I love so many. I love them all. In fact, I'm super careful that they don't take over the story, you know.
I know, right?
When you love them.
Like, this is not your book.
Yes. Probably Cookie from Charlie. And then of course I have Annette from the Betwixt books, and then Quincy from Sunshine, which Annette is my sister. Quentin is my brother. Huge mistake there, as I named Annette after my sister, and I did quite a bit from like the curly hair and the gray eyes and that sort of thing, not realizing she was going to have her own series. So now I have to get rid of that image so that I can write sex sister, and that's just wrong. It's just wrong. So, and that's got to go away. I just gotta have to think of it. It's not my sister. It's
Not my sister. Why did I do this?
Why did I do that?
Oh man, that's so good and so true. All right, Darynda, before I turn this over to our readers to ask you their questions, I have to ask you our honorary Darynda Jones question. Can you tell us about your writing day?
Oh, sure. Question. So,
in gross detail from 8 a.m. on.
But I am being very good. So what happened was I got super behind on deadlines and everything else during the pandemic, like so many writers did. I was finding it impossible to write. And I was also got really sick there for a while, which I think explains the nutrition, why I'm reading about nutrition and everything. It was so weird. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sick for no reason. And so now, so I was talking to a friend of mine, Jeffy Kennedy,
mm-hmm.
and she was saying, and I know she volunteered because it's like, well, you know, if you want to change your schedule to match mine, why don't you just come write with me and we'll write on Zoom or something. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And so now that's what do. We meet at 9 o'clock every morning on Zoom.
Love it.
And we do 3 1-hour writing sprints. And I'm ridiculous because if she's not there, I will think of every excuse under the sun not to write.
Of course.
I'm a freaking child. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I love writing. It's not even that, but it is work. It's hard. It does get hard sometimes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's hard.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, we always say words are hard. So
words are hard.
hard. And so yeah, that's what we meet every morning at 9. And then so we write till, because when we take about 10-minute break, 10-15 minutes. So we write till about 1 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do lunch and I watch an episode of something, whatever I'm watching at that time. Right now it's Roswell, New Mexico, because it's 80 miles from me. I watch it for
like it's local.
Yeah, I watch it for the hot guys. I'm not gonna lie. They are so good looking.
That's it's the reason we watch CW. Let's keep them in business for a reason.
And then depending on if I'm on deadline, then I will go back and I will write. Sometimes Jeffy does business in the afternoons. That girl can write me under the table. She's so much faster than I. Oh my gosh. And I've written a book in 7 days, guys. I wrote a book in 7 days. I wrote 8th grade in 7 days. That's how behind I was. And she can still write me under the table, this girl. And on a daily basis, because she's very disciplined. She gets 1,000 words a day, and if she's 80 words short, then she will come back and get those 80 words. And if I'm 80 words short, I'm like, woohoo!
Get it close enough.
Done. You know, she's amazing. But she'll do business in the afternoon. So if I'm on deadline like I am right now, she'll say, okay, I'll meet you back here at 2 o'clock or whatever. And she'll time me. She times me. She keeps track of my word count. She's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you do all that. Okay.
She's such a great writing coach.
She is my writing coach, and she's amazing. I highly recommend her. She coaches for other people too. So if we have any writers.
Awesome. Well, Darynda, thank you so much for taking our questions and or taking my questions. I'm going to now let our readers ask you some questions, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the record so you guys can feel a little less shy.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. Sarah Reyes, do you have something? Oh, sorry. Darynda, Darynda, how can readers stay in touch with you and find out more about you?
Just probably my website, Darynda.com. or DaryndaJones.com, either one, or Facebook. I do have an amazing group on Facebook. I want to say there's about 5,000, something like that, and they're called the Grimlets. So if you want to become a Grimlet, just look up Grimlet. We're the only Grimlets there. Grimlets rule, and that's right. They're amazing. And this, it's just like laughing all day. They put up the funniest memes and I can go there and just like, I died. That somebody put something up that I, I, I laughed so hard I was crying. Like I couldn't catch my breath today. And I don't even remember, it was something about, what was it? I don't remember. Anyway, go there. It's fun.
Love it. Awesome. All right, guys, go become gremlins. That's the best way to do it.